All right, welcome to Talking Investing. Middle of the day, spontaneous live stream. We got some red going today. I'm Tom.
I'm George.
And we are here to discuss. There's a bunch of stuff going on in the news, so I want to talk about that and then get everybody's thoughts on what's going on with Bitcoin today. So,
Did you see? I already wrote what it was, by the way.
Which one of these 3 days I did see? New moon tomorrow.
No, before that though, I wrote there's a 16K dump of Bitcoin on Binance.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Come on,
Man. 16,000 Bitcoin dump.
Yeah, and you know what's amazing though is that it only went down that little bit.
Yeah, I'm not worried yet, but that's what we got to discuss. I mean, this is, first of all, here's the board. It is red, other than any, which is the one stock we have been calling.
And guys, I did not sell. I might sell by the end of today.
It may not end the day green, but it's the only one that's green right now. So we've been on fire lately. Hello, Scapegoat, hello Gorilla, Raven, hello everybody. Welcome to the stream. This was a last second stream, but there's just so many little news things going on that and I'm hoping everybody's not panicking. So I was hoping to get on, talk to everybody, see how you guys are feeling. I mean, if
we get to 150, I'm going to give you XRP news, but I ain't saying it unless there's 150 people watching.
Okay, we need to
I want 150 people to think I'm an idiot.
All right, hold on. Then let me...
100, that's our goal.
If everybody could smash the like button, that's our best way to get...
I think it's amazing. I think it's some great... I will even like it. I think there's some good news out there. It's just a rumor. Could be true.
Might be true, might be false.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
I heard something as well yesterday, so
Did you really?
I'm not going to say anything until you do, because I'm almost positive it's not the same thing, but you never know.
Yeah, probably not. I think though, if Bitcoin got hit with 16,000 coins, right, and then this is the price, whew, that is very healthy.
Especially since I'm going to go to the 1 day, because...
Hello, everyone.
Which one of these days are we supposed to believe? And this one's not over yet. It would be nice if we get back up inside of this candle, yesterday's candle. So we don't want to go further down than we went, from the bottom 2 days ago. But we've got... we had a huge down day, a huge up day, and now we're having a reversal. So but, if you look, this is all, we haven't left our spot. This is 28.8. We haven't even tested the first line of support, in my opinion. So while these feel like wild days, we're in a super tight range right now. So until we break out one way or the other, I believe we're going sideways, and that's why I'm not so worried right now. And as you look at the technicals from my perspective, super ambiguous. They're telling me nothing. So you guys let me know if there's anything you're looking at that you think is giving some indication of which way we're going. But to me, I think the trend is still up, right? I mean, if you look, I gotta zoom out to get to the bottom, but if you look, I mean, I can try and draw my own arrow, but that was the bottom. I mean, we're still, that's what's happening. So today is not breaking us out of that trend, in my opinion, at all. And I almost feel like it would be nice to test 28.8. Not that I'm rooting for it to go down, but if we tested that and it held as support, that would actually be bullish. And I also think this sideways consolidation is bullish, right? That has, when this has been a bull run, so everything sideways has ended up being bullish so far, really all year in 2023. So we're still only 3.5 months into the year, but that's the way it's been going so far. And this trend line is still definitely active, in my opinion.
So I got one for you. I'm trying to put money on the crypto exchange. And since they don't give me any money, I won't tell you who they are. So you're never going to believe this. Anything over 10K, they want you to source.
When you say source, you mean disclose what the source of it is?
Where it came from, show a W-2, your income, or show like a transaction or something of why you have this extra money.
Well, sounds like they're caving in pre-regulations. Well, everybody's caving in because the SEC is suing everybody they can find. So
because of the clarity that our buddy gave us yesterday?
Yeah, clarity. We're definitely going to talk about Gensler. Somebody mentioned that. Did you see the testimony yesterday? So I didn't watch the whole entire thing, but I caught all the highlights and I read a bunch of articles on it, and there's definitely some stuff worth talking about there.
Well, I mean, he was super clear. I mean, I can tell he really cares about the retail investor, and that's what made me very proud.
He provided some clarity. If you live in like Alice in Wonderland or something, maybe you got some clarity out of whatever he said yesterday. Otherwise, anybody who didn't leave that thing more confused than they were when it started wasn't paying attention. So there's a lot of reasons. That could be, that apparently, was it Great Britain, I think, had a hot inflation number today, this morning, or last night. So, some people are talking about that's a little bit of the pullback. What's the market itself doing? What? So it's red, but it's not. I mean, this is not a bad day from a market standpoint. S&P down 0.2, Dow 0.29, NASDAQ 0.23, Russell 0.51. So that's pretty steady. Crude's under 80. So that's a nice little pullback.
That's
Gold's
big.
Holding 2,000. Silver's holding 25. And then let's look at...
Dude, we have 2 projects we're working on, too. I can say this, right, Tom?
Absolutely.
We have 2 projects we're working on. Yeah. That's all I'll say right now.
That's it. That's it. Not a lot of insight there on that
I know.
disclosure.
They make me smile, let's just tell you. One is really funny. To me, is really funny. And then the other one is just even funnier. They're good projects. You guys will know soon enough.
So we're not getting a lot of clarity here. We're hanging out just under 102 on the DXY. I think for the the question becomes, and I think Jeff asked yesterday, is this a double bottom and we're headed back up, or is the momentum down right now? So I think it's best for the rest of the markets if the dollar, if this DXY index comes down a little bit. Too strong right now. It's not healthy. Or at least it's not good for trading purposes. Let's just say that. So we had this giant jump down very quickly. And, this was 1,000 points, I think, right? We were at 30,100. By the time we got to the bottom, we were at 28,900. But within that 15-minute candle, we closed at 29.2. So, this was somewhere around 1,000-point drop in a few minutes. And that was now, what? Not long ago. That was 8 hours ago. So, yeah, that's this 4-hour candle, but really it wasn't the whole 4 hours. It was that tiny little time frame right there where there was a dump. So, I don't know what this pattern, I'm not familiar with this pattern.
The pro coin and the joke coin. No, that's funny though.
Hello.
Did you hear crypto? What's his name? George. We're all George, and we're effed. That guy. He's doing a show called Crypto Gems. That's actually going to be televised. It's going to go on. I think he said he just got a deal with Hulu.
Hulu. So is it like a weekly show and he's going to...
Yeah, it's going to be a weekly show. Yeah.
Nice.
Hello, Operation Choke Point. You got it.
Did you guys...
I couldn't believe it because I'm so glad I'm doing it now because usually I don't have a reason of why I have money. I just sold that house in New York, so I figured. It just bothers me, though, that you have to do that.
Well, what is it called? KYC?
Nope. Cover your, yeah.
Know your
Cover
customer.
your cash. Cover your cash. Oh.
These guys, I think they're crazy not to do all those things. If they're going to, I mean, you can't go open a bank account without giving them, well, actually, you don't need to give them that level. An investment.
No, I'm sorry, that is not correct.
I agree. You don't have to.
And I don't have to go put money into Charles Schwab, which just lost $2 trillion. I mean, $2 billion last week. Did you hear that they pulled out? People pulled out $500 billion out of smaller banks and moved it to larger banks.
I believe it. I mean, that's
last week or the week before. I can't remember.
Well, and it's probably over the last whatever, because that's the panic we had. These regional banks and smaller banks, that's where the panic was. I think nobody's worried about the big banks. That's the flight to safety we had. And there's some stuff out there that could cause round 2 of that. I don't want to spread any FUD or cause any undue add to the world of FUD. So, we'll see what happens. I don't think there's a banking crisis coming, but possibly we're not out of the water yet on the banking situation is what I've been calling it. It's not a crisis yet. It's a situation.
It's not a joke.
We have a possible situation.
Maybe we should get a poll going real quick.
Let's get a poll going.
2 polls do really well.
If everybody could please smash the like button. We're at 29 likes. It helps the live stream big time. We've been getting 100 likes. So I appreciate anybody who will do that. Let's have a poll.
Oh, and I don't know who. No one's ripping on me for ETH, by the way. ETH went down twice as much as Bitcoin. I figured somebody would be, say, George. I still feel that it's strong.
All right, I'm going to go super simple on this.
Cleanspark dropped like I rock in water. Just sad to see. Bitcoin only dropped 1K. Why do you think that is? I can tell you why it is. I hate to say it, but this was the reason why I sold it when I sold it. Even though I missed the run. And that's because you're competing with them to take your money.
So I think what George is saying is Cleanspark, we know at some point Cleanspark is going to be using their shelf offering. And after a giant run-up like that, you would imagine they would be foolish not to use some portion of their shelf offering because they need to raise $145 million. So, not only are we dealing with the regular selling pressure, but you've got new shares coming on the market in all likelihood. So, and having said that, it's down 11% today. It just took a crazy run. You're gonna get corrections. Look at Riot's down 9%, Marathon's down 7.7, Cypher's down 11%.
What's Cleanspark down?
11%.
Oh wow.
Yeah, everything's getting, well, not everything, but a lot of this stuff that ran up is getting beat up pretty badly. Bitfarms down 6%, Hut 7.8, Hive 7.6. So, those guys are all pulling back.
Here's your chance to get back into Cleanspark. If there wasn't a new moon tomorrow, I would probably get in. But I always worry about those moon activities. You know that, guys. I don't know why I'm a nut, but I'm not saying I don't even know which way it's gonna go. It just means that it's gonna be movement. Could go up, it could go down. I don't know.
And that's tomorrow?
That's tomorrow. New moon tomorrow.
So you got
I know
one
I'm a
day.
nut. I'm not saying that I know the prediction because I don't. What I'm saying is anytime that something happens with the moon, there is a movement in Bitcoin. Up, down, but it won't stay. It won't stay where it's at. I don't know if I can't guarantee it, but you know, not financial advice.
Certainly we can't. No, there's no guarantees in the investing universe.
Here's one of the reasons I know it's crazy, but I almost think that like they didn't want Bitfarms to stay over $1, and they knew somebody knew they had to dump some coin to get that to happen.
That is definitely not what's going on.
Yeah.
They're not dealing with they're not manipulating the $500 billion asset so that they can manipulate the $200 million asset. And even though Bitfarms is down, this is day
It's only
7.
It's only down 5%. I thought they would get wrecked.
Right. At $1.19 on day 7, I'm getting my hopes up. It's not a done deal by
Hey,
any
did you sell those
means.
options? The $1.50 options or no?
No, I still have some $1.50 options left, but I've got until May. Is it May 18th or 19th? So
one of those.
I'm still expecting to get these 10 days in a row in Bitfarms, and then have it run up to $1.50. That's what I personally, not financial advice, that is what I believe is going to happen. I think that's what's been brewing for a long time. So we will see.
Tom,
this is day 7.
Do you think it's crazy to put like a lot of money into these right now? If you don't need the money?
I mean, obviously, number one, yeah, it should always be money that you don't need for the next, 5 years. And number two, I know you like to go in and get out. You're a swing trader. But for me, I would average in. Like today, for a lot of people are going to look at today and go, you know what? There's 3 or 4 I've had my eye on, and they're pulling back 7%, 8%, 10%. Time to, dollar cost average in. So
you wouldn't just go and buy it all. You would just go and, even if it goes up, you're not mad. You just.
Now, I have base positions. So, no, there's no point in time. The only time I went crazy was in late November and December. And to me, that was a once-in-a-lifetime buying opportunity. And so I did a little more than I usually would have done. But I still didn't go, I didn't go all in. I didn't take money I, couldn't afford to leave in there. But I went very heavy. That's the heaviest I went. And other than that, I'm opening positions. Here's a day where it's red across the board. I would have added to my any, and maybe I still will, but, it's green.
But you wouldn't say take some profits on any right now? On an opposite day?
I think any is still so far lagging behind. I expect any to be over $1. That's my personal expectation.
It's so nice to see, though. I'm even up on Lux today.
Nice.
I'm up to $6.
Ooh. Big bucks.
Do you know what's crazy? Is I haven't even gotten, you know how they send you information about a company that files bankruptcy and all that? I haven't even gotten any of that information on Lux.
You got nothing?
Nothing.
Maybe it's going to one of your other addresses.
Yeah, maybe.
Or an email. It's hard to get, now you got...
Yeah.
It's hard to get info. All right, we got 39 likes. If you guys could smash the like button, it's helping a lot already for the stream.
I think you do your standard poll, 35 to 25.
Well, I put an easier poll up than that for starters. Is the Bitcoin run over? We got a red day. We got a big red day. We got a big red board. Is this it? Is the run over? So that's step 1.
I can tell you right now, I don't think the run's over with. You know that?
We got 35 votes. It's free to vote, so cast your votes, everybody. Is the Bitcoin run over or
There's no way.
So this is what's going on. So
And I can tell you why.
tell
Ready?
us. Yeah.
Next month is the conference.
Oh, next month is the Bitcoin conference. That right?
That's the reason why. If there wasn't a Bitcoin conference next month, I might have a different thought process.
Let's see. I'm going to try to catch up. I'm once again, way behind on the take a poll, take a drink. That's Crypto Golfer. How's the Bitcoin dominance right now? I should check that out because, I mean, it's been fluctuating near its highs. So today, well, I'm guessing today obviously is not helping, but none of the cryptos are doing that well today. But we'll check out the Bitcoin dominance.
I guess I should really start thinking that way. Is that I need to leave these for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's what these are. You know, if you have a specific objective, if you look at one of these and go, you know what, I end these at 47 cents, I think it's going to run to $1. So I'm going to enter in now, and that's my exit strategy. If it gets down under 40 cents, then I'm going to cut my losses and say I was wrong. And, you know, I'm not telling you guys to do that exact thing. I'm just saying that's a plan. So it doesn't have to be, I'm going to hold it for 2 years, I'm going to hold it for 5 years, I'm going to hold it forever, but it has to be a plan. If you have no plan and you're just playing it by feel every day, emotions are too overwhelming, and Bitcoin is so volatile that you're going to get, like, you could easily panic. If you're holding, if you're holding Riot and it's down 9% today, or Marathon is down 8% today, Cypher's down 10%, those are the 3 largest market caps, and they're taking big hits today. So, there will be people that panic sell those today. Now, if the next 10 days are down in a straight line, then they're going to say, we didn't panic sell, we got out. And if that was their plan, then that's good. But if it was just, oh no, everything's red.
CleanSpark 11.4. They're going to get destroyed.
11.5% down.
I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down to 15%.
Well, it went up 15% yesterday, so it would be no surprise if it just retraced its steps back down. There's no doubt. I mean, it's at 11.5 right now. It depends on how this day goes. If the day, gets a little bit, because look how tight we're trading. If I go from the bottom, and that's not even really since this point from the bottom to the top. Well, that's 1.65%, so that's a little bit of a trading range. But, you could also draw, if you drew a trend line kind of straight down the middle here.
I only have a little bit of money in any. I have most of my money on the sidelines right now.
Like, so we've been below this line, we've been above this line, but you can see we're kind of gravitating towards this line somewhere around 29,200, which is, this is an area of support right here, and we haven't even reached this very, very strong area of support yet. So that's what I keep expecting to happen, and it hasn't happened yet. So maybe it's going to, maybe it's not. Mocha said, did you guys see the news about Russia's initiative to build financial, quote, gateways, including Bitcoin crypto channels? No, I did not see news about that. George, anything? Did you see anything on that one?
Oh, God. Somebody just died. It was a friend of mine.
Oh, that's... Sorry to hear that. That's awful. Did you just get that news right now?
Yeah, literally just got it.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
He's a guy who worked for me. He worked for me for like 5 years. It was funny, though. He was a lot older. I think he was probably 75, 76. And,
so...
Yeah. His name was George, too, by the way.
You could argue it's his time, but that's still young, and it's always sad.
Yeah. It's sad because, COVID has messed up the world. You know what I mean? I think that's one thing that's not political. I think everybody will agree that COVID's messed up the world.
Well, we stopped. There's no doubt. We
Okay.
shut everything down. We're still trying to get it back on track. In the middle, we had potentially one, if not two, recessions coming. So, and
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Anders is asking, buy the dip. What do you think? So I'm taking a close look because there was a couple that I really was going to buy in on yesterday that I didn't. One was Mawson. It's only down 2.5%, so that doesn't really motivate me. But my other one is I was going to dollar cost average into my 2023 new position of Wolf. And that's down 6.5%. And so I haven't done anything yet today, but if I do anything, it's probably going to be that. I mean, the two things that have been going strong are still going strong, which is which is Sphere 3D. They're green, and Stronghold is green. So they've been on a little bit of a run. So to me, if you're just doing your if you have a regular ritual to dollar cost average in, then okay. But, there's nothing motivating. I'm not going to buy the only green stocks on a red day. Although some people would argue that's exactly what you should do. So
should I cost in anything, guys? How do you get your financial advice? I go on the stream and ask the guys because I'm an idiot.
Because they know. Hey, listen, there's safety in numbers. Does that apply?
What's the poll looking like, Tom?
All right, let's show. Way closer than I thought. Is the bull run over? 32% say yes, and 68% say no. So that's very, very, very close to 1/3 say yes and 2/3 say no. So 2/3 of you are still bullish on Bitcoin. Let's end that poll. Thanks for the participation. That got a lot of votes. So we're still overall 2/3 bullish. That's a little bit less than yesterday. So let's do the exact same thing as yesterday and see how today comes out. I'm not going to bother doing 45 because that was an overreach, but just 1 second. And question mark. All right, so we did this yesterday, so let's see how yesterday compares to today. It's a red day today. Which will Bitcoin hit next? 35K or 25K? We started out yesterday 45K or 25K, but people felt like that was a little bit of an overreach, so 35 or 25? 35 or 25? So 25 is basically just, I'm going to go back to the 1 day. And there's a reason we're picking 25,000. This $25,000 200 line on my thing, it's purple. I know there's a lot of lines on here, but some of these are much more significant than others. And this was a very significant line. You can see we bumped into it here. 25 was, so this goes all the way back to August of 2022. So from August of 2022 until the middle of March of 2023, this was resistance, period. And as soon as we crossed it, we never went under it again. So to me, this would be a very strong line of support. But we have one other in the middle at 28.8 that is equally, if not stronger. So these two lines to me, and then there's some space in the middle where, anything can happen. You can see we have a big block of trading here between 27 and 28,000. So, but to me, we would have to fall below this very strong line of support and this to. So the question is, are we going to get back down to this line of support and retest this? And then, also, we could fail at this line and keep going below. I feel like that's unlikely, but with Bitcoin obviously every day's an adventure. Let's see. Duckman, 40K. 40K would be nice, even if, even if we, I don't think it's a big deal, even if we go test one of these lines of support before we bounce up to, if we can bounce up to 35 or 40 or 45, if we got to, nothing goes in a straight line. And we've had a lot of upward momentum this year. So, FV702, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. Good morning. Is the yo-yo of Bitcoin Bitfarms seems massively overlooked and cheap? Oh. So, yeah. If you're saying that you think Bitfarms looks cheap, I agree. That's why I've backed up. So, for me, that is already one of my big positions, but I bought a lot of Bitfarms options, and I still am holding a lot of them. I sold some of them into the run because we did run up a bunch already, but it's still only at $1.20. So I think $1.50 is that's still underpriced. But I think the next my short-term price target's $1.50 for Bitfarms, like very short-term price target. So, we'll see. We'll see if I'm right or I'm wrong. But that's how I'm playing that. And it looks like FV702 is saying, so FV702 is saying Bitfarms seems massively overlooked and cheap. So I completely agree with that. And I do think there's still the bears holding on to their last hope that they can just get them under $1 for just one day. Today is day 7. So if they can go today, Thursday, Friday, and Monday, if they close over $1 on all those days, then this battle is over. And I think some of the downward pressure is going to release once that battle has been lost and it's over. So
I agree with that statement.
So, but we're not there yet, so I don't want to count. We got to 5 days in a row once, and then we failed. We got to 6 days in a row once, and then we failed. Now we're at 7 days. So
what looks right now like the best investment to jump into? If you were gonna throw money in right now.
I mean, can I throw a couple out that I think somebody was dollar cost averaging? I for the first one I'll say is I agree with FV702. Bitfarms at $1.20. Like I said, my super short-term price target's $1.50. So, that's I don't know the future, so who knows what happens. But to me, that's a nice move up that I think is just imminent if we get these next 3 days closing over $1. And this is much stronger than the last 2 runs it had. It still could, listen, 20 cents, we could be 1 day away from 99 cents. So I understand it. This is not over until that 10th day, until the bell rings on the 10th day. So I will be sweating it out until we get there. But I think it's going to happen. So I think that's a good one. If you've been waiting to get into CleanSpark, it just had a big pullback. In my mind, I think Marathon is still lagging overall versus Riot's movement. So, Riot's my much bigger position, but I did just open a position in Marathon. I got rid of some of my Riot and put it over to Marathon to try to balance out a little because Riot ran way out ahead of Marathon, and I've seen those two pass each other one way or the other. I can't even tell you, 50 times in the last 2 years. They've traded places as the largest market cap. They have different business models. I mean, obviously, they're both Bitcoin miners. They're by an exahash standpoint, other than Core Scientific, which is in Chapter 11, they're the 2 largest Bitcoin miners by market cap. They're the 2 largest Bitcoin miners by exahash at this time. Now, CleanSpark is trying to get in that mix, and there's a potential at some point CleanSpark will have more exahash than Riot in the year 2023. So we'll see what happens. We're not there yet at all. But those 3, it's going to be hard for anybody to break into that top 3. But from a market cap standpoint, Cypher is the 3rd largest market cap. So I do see CleanSpark passing Cypher, in my opinion. And Cypher's down 9%, so, you know, if you've been waiting for a pullback, that's another one where... So it all depends on where your positions are at, but obviously some of these... This is a red board. I like to buy on a red board, but I also only like to do so if something's gotten, you know, outside of a tight range that it's in. If all it's doing, you know... For instance, for me, I have a full position in CleanSpark. So it was up 15% yesterday. It's down 10% today. For me personally, since I already have a position, that's not a buying opportunity for me. That's just hold, because really it didn't do anything. It went up, it went down. It's still in the same area. So it's just that's the big perspective. You got to have your plan, know what you're looking for, and yeah, on a red day like this, I bet you. Let us know in the chat, is anybody buying today? And I will tell you, Wolf is getting interesting for me to add some to my position. So we'll see what happens on the day, and I'm not going to do anything while we're sitting here live because I'm very methodical about those things. So Crypto Golfer, time to feed the dog, George. Organic Autos said that's for sure about Marathon. So, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, I think Marathon's got some momentum going. Obviously, today is a down day, but, you know, they're down 5 points. This day is not over. We've seen wild things happen. So, you know, this could take a turn in either direction. We've been going very sideways for a long time today. So, you know, nothing will surprise. So, FE702 is saying Wolf's 10 days and on Friday. So, and they are so comfortably, I will say, I will be stunned if they don't get their 10 days. They're at $1.47 right now. They made a strong move over the course of 7 or 8 days that just put them, their dollar is so far in the rearview mirror that I would be stunned if they don't get to their 10 days and reset. So all of these companies we were worried about, there was months and months where, you know, one of the main questions on every single live stream was, you know, how many of these companies are going to have to do a reverse stock split and how many of them are going to go out of business? And now we're to the point where there's only a couple. Gree's under $1. We got Wolf almost at the end of their 10 days. We got Bitfarms getting near the end of their 10 days. And... you know, we got only Gree and Any under $1. For those of you following the ones that are over the counter, Core Scientific is under $1 and DMG Blockchain is under $1 as well. So those don't trade on a lot of the exchanges. They're over the counter. But pretty much everything else has put that in the rearview mirror. And I am looking at Mawson, but this is not enough of a pullback for me. If we have a downward turn, then I might open. That might be my next position, and then that's probably it. I don't want to have too many of these Bitcoin miners. I already have a bunch, but I'd like to try to spread it out over the ones that, you know, if there's big opportunity coming. Like for me personally, for Any. Even though it's green today, a lot of people would argue, hey, you should still dollar cost average in. Now, you don't dollar cost average in on everything every day, so, you know, you got to have a plan. But Any's nowhere near my price target, so, you know, I imagine I will be buying in more, but just not today. Today is a day I'd rather buy Wolf, which looks like it's giving me a little opportunity. Let's see. Crypto Golfer. Oh, I already read that. I'm just catching up on the chat, everybody, because I fell behind. Darren saying Tesla posts after the closing. This thing does a giant U-turn. So are you saying that Tesla's going to do a giant U-turn, the market's going to do a giant U-turn, or that Bitcoin is going to do a giant U-turn. Tesla lowered their prices again, so that has been a big theme. Volume in CleanSpark, this was from Richard. Volume in CleanSpark is insane. Friday, 4x the normal volume. Rest of the miners were 2x on that day. So, yeah, I mean, this was a very, very, very. We'll take a look at that chart. CleanSpark just had a very long run. Well, I shouldn't say a very big run to the upside. And I thought it was 8 days, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And today's day 8, and they're down. So it was really a 7-day, and that's 7 days. From bottom to top, they were up 115%. Even as of the close of yesterday, they were up over 100%. So CleanSpark pulled a double in a week and a half. So are we surprised it's having a little pullback today? You know, it's down around 10%. That's not that far out of line with what almost all the Bitcoin miners are doing today. So I actually think that's decent, healthy activity. So, and I do think the CleanSpark run will continue because it's still nowhere near my green line. And I think there's, for several reasons, I'm very bullish on CleanSpark. I think people missed the mark on this big time when it was trading down here. And even again, this was in March 10th of 2023. This got down, you know, what did it get under 2? No, it got down to $2.04. And then $2.05. So to me, at $2, CleanSpark at $2 was crazy time in my opinion. But it's not at $2 anymore. Now it's at $4.55. And it was over $5 yesterday. It closed over $5, I believe, right? It closed at $5.03 yesterday. So yeah, a little pullback today on a red day, no big deal. Now, if it's down 25% or something like that, that would be a shift in my opinion. All right, so we got a lot of votes on this. I'm going to end this poll because it looks like which will Bitcoin hit next? 35,000 and 25,000. We did this very same poll, not yesterday, on Monday. And on Monday, 92% of people thought Bitcoin was going to 35. Today, on Wednesday, 2 days later, that is now down to 74%. But that's still essentially 3/4 of the people think we're still on the run up to 35. And about 1/4 of the people think we're headed down to 25. So still, I mean, that's still very bullish results. Not surprising, it's a little less bullish today on a day where the board is red and Bitcoin is. I mean, this was the drop right here. Everything else that's happened today is just totally, completely sideways. So we had this drop overnight, and now we're just moving sideways from it. So we'll see. And then if you go to the 4-hour, get rid of that because it's confusing. But basically, you know, we candle wicked a little lower, but we pretty much got back to where we were. This is a little bit lower, but 29,300 and let's see. 29,290, and yesterday it was more like 29,360. But, you know, that's $50, $60, $70 of the same spot. And the low of the day yesterday was 29,103. Today it was 29,010. So, again, $90 apart from each other. So, this is very sideways. Some people would argue, you know, this is lower. It is, in fact, a little lower, but so close that I would call it sideways. All right, we are now at 75%, 25% with 64 votes, so I'm calling it on that one. So we're still bullish. That's the takeaway. Not quite as bullish as Monday, which makes sense. Monday was an excellent day, and today is not an excellent day, although it's not, to me, it's not a bad day. And you can see these are clawing their way back. Right? These were almost across the board, these were worse an hour ago than they are right now. And it's not that we've made some big move to the upside. We're sitting here in a very tight range. Bitfarms hanging out at $1.21, very encouraging to me. Organic Auto saying, I'm thinking of adding to all three of my positions, CleanSpark, Mara, and Riot. Well, I mean, if you feel like your positions aren't full, I mean, what better day than today? All three are down pretty decently. And in fact, they seem to be recovering as the day goes on. So we don't know for a fact that that is going to be what happens all day, but that seems to be what's going on right now. All right, I got to stop the presses. Methodic. A super chat. Thank you very much. Very generous. I appreciate it. It helps the channel out a lot. Thanks to all the members also. And so super special thanks to Methodic. And Methodic is saying, took profits first time yesterday, buying back in again today. Get some wolf on me, gentlemen. So that's what I was leaning towards today, is maybe buying my next lot of wolf. So I think we're on the same page, Methodical. And again, thank you very much. I appreciate you supporting the channel. And I agree. Wolf. I did watch, just so you guys know, I'm going to have Paul on, but I did watch him just give an interview. So if you're interested, I can tell you where that was at yesterday. And I don't know. It wasn't necessarily the most enlightening interview of all time, but you do get, I got a good sense from the guy, and they seem on mission, and they seem like they have a good thing going, and they did just do some major restructuring. I want to talk to them a little bit more about the change they just had to go through to get where they're going, because I think they're on the right track right now, but they did have to make some changes. And he talked about the fact that we were ready. We have expertise inside the building. First of all, it's a core group of guys that have been together. And when I say guys, it's actually mostly women, as he did point out. So I don't know how I feel about the fact that he went out of his way to say 8 of our top 10 executives are women, and that's going to be healthy for the stock. I don't feel like any of those things should have anything to do with the price of a stock. Whoever's the most, I hope that your top 10 executives are the top 10 most qualified people you could find. I really don't care who they are. So that's just me personally. I know, he's saying, listen, ESG is a thing, and that's, for ESG purposes, that's going to bode well for our company, but it is what it is. That's my own personal opinion. Just get the best management team you can get, and it's going to be men, it's going to be women, it's going to be whatever it's going to be. Franco said, did you notice that it was a whale that sold the 16,000 Bitcoin? So, no, I didn't see that. So, it was basically one person dumping 16,000 is a lot of Bitcoin to dump. That's a massive sale. FE702 says, Wolf. So, we'll see how the day continues. If Wolf stays down around 5% and I can get in, I will most likely add to my Wolf position today. I didn't do it yesterday. Remember, I said, oh, that was the members only live stream yesterday. So the members only I talked about. I wanted to pull the trigger on Wolf, and I didn't do it. So now I'm getting a better opportunity today, so I'll probably do that. James Ross said, you are the man, Methodic. Way to share the love. So thanks again, Methodic, and thanks, James Ross. I know you shared the other day some free memberships, so that's appreciated. So yeah, no surprise, and it's coming back as you speak. So you can see the market is, well, I won't say the market. Bitcoin's having a few green candles in a row. This one just turned red, but the Bitcoin miners are off of their lows on the day. So, but there's still a lot of opportunity there. They're still down. Gorilla said the Nasdaq just turned green, so there you go. FE702, I just shaved a $3,000 loss in 10 minutes. Yes. Stephen English is saying, which company was that? I'm not investing in companies who choose people based on something other than ability. So first I'll say, I will tell you which company that was, but I will say, he didn't say that he hired them for that reason. He's just saying this is his team, this is his crew, they've been together for 10 or 15 years, and a lot of them are women. I think he went out of his way to point that out, since it happens to be the case, but I didn't get the impression that he went and hired them for that reason. I think that, and these guys have been doing business together in other businesses. They're in the energy business. So you talk about vertically integrated. Nobody is more vertically integrated than Wolf. The company was Wolf. So, you know, it was the CEO of Wolf, and that's what he said. So I don't want to take it out of context. You might want to watch and get a feel for yourself. But he has been together. Most of his team's been doing business in other businesses, mainly the energy business, for the last 10 or 15 years. So that's some very nice continuity in an industry. I mean, Bitcoin hasn't even been around for 15 years. So his management team's been together longer than, you know, Bitcoin's been alive. So my point was just, I don't know that he needed to mention that. Let's see, Lant, I got CleanSpark about $1 more than you did, so loving it, and bought more today at $4.44. Julian said it's the FBI dumping. Left 305, are the miners going to end green? So you don't know. This is one of, we've seen these days where there's just, at some point, there's just a turnaround in the middle of the day, and what looked like it was going to be an awful day ends up green. Having said that, we've seen days where a bad day turns into a worse day. You know, momentum is real, and it could pick up in either direction. I don't feel like that's happening. It seems like things are leveling off. I don't know we're going to get all the way to green, but maybe some of these will start to pop green, and I think they're not going to end on their lows of the day. This seems to be super sideways consolidation. This drop-off, apparently, I don't know if it was that 16,000 Bitcoin dump. I do know that, yes, a lot of the leverage longs got called. So, you know, during that dump, if those guys, you know, got margin called, then that just contributed to that downward. And when you see pushes down this fast, it's almost always what has happened is there's an opportunity, the longs or the shorts, depending on which direction you're going in, have gotten over exuberant, and they've created an opportunity for a move like that. So that's the move we got. We'll see if we claw our way back over the day to get back to where we were, because on the 1 day time frame, again, this is what I'm going to be paying the most attention to. I'd like to do one of two things. If we're going to go down, then I'd rather just bump off of this line and confirm this as support. So if we're going to have to go down, let's at least get something out of it. Otherwise, I would like to finish above, you know, inside of yesterday's candle. And we're a little bit below it right now. So we're right here. It would be nice if we could get back up into this type of a range. I'm not expecting the day to turn green today. That's probably asking too much, but if we can get some nice momentum back up over 30,000, that would be great. And I think we were in the, you know, we were in. So this is around almost 30,400 up here. And we got even higher than that over here. So, you know, step one, maybe we can retake 30,000. That would be nice. So as of this moment, that's my goal for today. Retake 30,000. FV702 at Matt Brown possibly was wondering why it dumped. I don't know what Matt Brown said. I got to go backwards. And I can't find it. Oh, it's literally the one above it. Matt Brown said, may have missed it, but is the speculation that the dip this morning was the U.S. government selling their Silk Road? Oh, that's right. They're going to sell that in tranches. So we had not talked about that yet. So that could be. And then Matt's saying, if so, then Bitcoin's actually doing well considering. I think it's doing well no matter what the reason, whether you know, hopefully it was a part of that, because the sooner they're done, they had already sold, what was it? I think 50,000 altogether. Maybe I'm remembering the wrong numbers. And then they sold already 10,000 of them. Let me know in the comments if those are the wrong numbers. FV702, March 14th, May 26th, August 7th, October 19th, December 30th. Initial search for government selling Silk Road. Oh, okay. So maybe they've given us the days. In which case, today was not a part of that. And Mocha is reiterating plus Operation Choke Point 2.0. So we got that out there. I know we have a lot of people that feel strongly about Choke Point.
Is Choke Point real?
Well, a lot of people believe it. Is it real? I guess we'll find out. You know, there's a lot of things that have happened line up with the Choke Point 2.0. But choke point or no choke point, I am still bullish on particularly Bitcoin. I will say they're creating more and more FUD around the rest of the cryptocurrency world. So
guys, I'm getting ready to make a trade. I think I'm getting in on CleanSpark.
Here we go. Here we go again. If anybody hasn't smashed the like button, I would appreciate it. It helps the channel out a lot. It helps the live stream out a lot in real time. Midday live stream. We definitely earned a midday live stream tomorrow. Special thanks to Methodical and FV702. Am I saying
Thanks,
that
guys.
right?
Limit. I'll just buy 1,000.
1,000 shares?
Yeah,
Come on.
That's nothing. This seems. I always think the price is so much more. You know what I mean? I'm used to buying things like $45, and just like.
Well, ask yourself this, and you don't have to tell everybody. How many did you just sell? You buy 1,000 back?
I sold. I had tens of thousands of shares. I didn't have 100,000, but
more than
that's
10,
why I
less
was
than
so
100.
mad. That's why I was so freaking mad. Okay, I'll do 10,000.
Hey, listen, I'm not telling you what to do. You do.
I know you're not.
You do you.
I don't ever even think that you tell me what to do. Because if you did, you would have freaking punched me in the face.
You gotta do. Everybody's gotta be their own trader.
Okay, this is the thing that always pisses me off. So when I go to buy something, I only got 1,900 freaking shares, and it went up. Come on, it's got to come down to that. Those jerks.
You
They
put a limit order in?
Yeah, I'm not going to do unlimited, because you know what happens when you do that. Do people know that, Tom?
the difference between a limit order and a market order. So
Yeah.
I'll just talk about it super quickly. I assume that the vast majority of our audience knows that we have a higher than average sophisticated audience, and I know I would say 99% of the members, if not 100%, know that. But it's always worth reviewing some of the basics from time to time. So on a limit order, you can say, so right now CleanSpark's trading at $4.59. You can say, I'm going to want to buy 10,000 shares of CleanSpark, but I'm going to limit the price to $4.59. So if I can't buy it at that price, I'm not buying it. A market order is whatever the market is right now, and on stocks that have a lot of liquidity, CleanSpark's heavily traded. Riot and Marathon are massively traded. So there are some people who go, all right, listen, I want 100,000 shares, and I want it now. I'm not going to put a limit order in and miss it because it moved by a penny, and I didn't get my shares. So, but on a market order, understand, it could go up a penny, it could go up 10 cents. Anything could happen on a market order. And
it went up 2 pennies. Unbelievable.
And the biggest thing is the less liquidity there is, the more you should probably put a limit on your order, because bigger changes can happen on things that have less liquidity. So in other words, I'm just going to pull up to make this obvious.
It's already up to 462. I got 2,000 shares. There's too many people watching.
Oh, see?
You guys are getting me.
You are moving markets.
You guys are getting me. I'm not changing it. It'll come back down.
Yeah, give it 5 minutes.
Jeez.
So if you're on Marathon and you do a market order, there's already 17 million shares of Marathon that have traded. So you're probably not going to get, and again, anything could happen, but you're probably not going to get burned by more than a penny on something like that. However,
wow, 363, 463. Oh my goodness.
If you go to Argo blockchain, so remember that was 17 million shares of Marathon.
Thanks, crypto golfer.
Argo blockchain's volume on the day is 53,000. So if you put in a market order, you could get burned on something like this. This has almost
no
activity.
Did, by the way, guys. I'll tell you a little story when he's done.
I'm not doing this anymore, and I won a couple of times. I would put the other side of this trade. I would say, I want to buy, let's just use an example, a Bitfarms option. I want to buy 100 of them for 5 cents. And let's say it closed at 50 cents. And you'd say, well, why would you bother doing that? Because if somebody on the other side just puts in a sell order, if nobody else is in there and somebody just puts in a market sell order, then I am the market at that point. All right. If I'm the only one that has put a bid in, which on options in particular, oftentimes your bid can be the only bid, sometimes for hours and hours if the volume is low enough.
I'm going to read Organic Autos Garden. Wanted to show my support, your unbiased analysis, and the amount of time you put into your videos and live stream has helped me out personally make a good amount of cash, especially these last few weeks. Thanks, Tom, George, and members. Riot, Marathon, CleanSpark. Well, thank you so much.
All right, Riot, Marathon, CleanSpark.
Only thing I can tell you is I give you the retail. What is it? It's Joe versus the pro. Tom's the pro, and I'm the Joe.
No matter what you're doing, having two people discussing, and neither one, for those of you watching, you can tell it's not like one of us is a yes person for the other one. We disagree on a regular basis, so I think that's healthy debate, and as do our members in the chat. We get a lot of, But
it's very... We love it because it's pretty, well, I don't know, the Discord gets a little bad sometimes.
The
but
public Discord gets crazy. The members only Discord, 1 or 2 times it got a little bit past where people were comfortable, but ordinarily that has been the conversation in our private Discord, and it's highly active now. So I appreciate all the members for your thoughtful discussions in the members only Discord. And thanks again to Organic Autos. That is very generous.
It's funny, they don't have, do they have a, let's see if, can you believe they don't have a Bitcoin as an emote on YouTube? Come on, people, do better.
That doesn't make sense.
Why
That's
don't we have
basic.
it under our Talking Investing ones?
Well, we should. I'm making that note right now. We need a Bitcoin. We don't have one?
We do not have one. We have Hut, Bitfarms, Cleanspark. Now I'm thinking about buying Bitfarms, by the way.
I mean, Bitfarms.
No, it's a little pump.
Oh, let me go back to the... So that's my point on a limit order versus an open order.
So I
For
was
anybody who
doing
cares.
options with Tom, and I thought, I'm like, okay, I can do this. I got you. I know what I'm doing now. Tom showed me. So Tom, I'm doing a complicated trade with a put. What was I shorting? I was shorting something. Go figure. With a put, right? A put's a short. You're shorting.
Effectively, yeah. That's a bet that is going
so
down.
I did a market
If
order.
you're buying a put.
I did a market order, and like I bought one for like 3 times more expensive than the other ones. So I did like 100 of them, and like I bought, there was only 10, so like 2 of them I got for like stupid money, and then the other 8 I got for what was listed. I was just like, that's just unbelievable. So that's why I never do another market order again.
You were on the other side. Somebody got you.
Somebody got me.
And that happens millions of times every day.
It's worth doing, by the way. It's only like $10, $15. But if you do it all over the place, people get you all the time.
If you're a day trader and you're dedicated, and that's 5% of your day, then I bet you those people win. I mean, I have gotten a few shares here and there. You almost feel bad because really, I mean, honestly, the person on the other side, they're making a mistake. But guess what? There's no trophy for second place. This is how the world works. So,
would you buy Riot, Marathon, or Bitfarms? I know your answer. Why'd I even ask?
I mean, those are all companies I have a lot of conviction in. But for me,
it's back down. 459. There it is. It just bought them.
Getting your Cleanspark?
Getting them right now. Yep.
All right. See, just gotta wait a minute.
I hate, and that's another thing. I hate chasing because anytime I start chasing, it never works out well.
You could do one. I've had 1 penny at a time be one step behind enough times where I'm like, you know what? Then forget it. That's it. I changed my limit
I ended up buying them. My average cost was $4.57. How is that?
Nice.
That's crazy.
And that's where it's at right now on the thing I'm looking at. So.
Oh wait, actually, is that what it's trading at? No, I bought them at 4. Let's.
Did you buy them at the peak?
I bought them all at $4.59.
All right, well, we're 3
but
cents
I only
down
bought
from
10,000. Not saying that's not a lot of money, but I wanted to buy more, but Tom won't let me.
But that's a good way.
What would be a cost average in now? What would you buy? When would you go back in to buy more?
To me, that's a big opening position. So a trading strategy could be, George just bought 10,000, so maybe he says, if you're strictly a dollar cost average person, then you say something to the effect of, all right, every Monday I'm going to buy another 1,000 shares. But I don't think that's George's, other than XRP, which he did something pretty close to that.
Yeah, that's what I did, yeah.
So that's not your normal style, but that would be true dollar cost average, whether it's up on the day or down on the day. Once a week, you just add to your position, or, if you get paid every other week, then once every other week you add to your position.
So you don't look at a price on the actual stock itself?
I definitely am a modified dollar cost average person. I don't adhere to those strict rules.
I'm with you, Sour Melon. It's going to crash.
Uh-oh.
I am not selling. I don't care what it goes to this time. I'll just average in. I think what I'm going to do though is I'm going to average in every 15 cents. If it goes down 15 cents, I'm buying more. That's my
15
new
cents.
game.
15 cents is not that big of a move on CleanSpark. It's down, for instance, it's down 48 cents today. Right now. So it depends, you know, on Bitfarms that would be a huge move. On CleanSpark, that's a small move. Somebody asked me, and it has gone by, or maybe I'm in the wrong direction. But somebody was asking me about dividends. So I will tell you my thoughts on Bitcoin miners and dividends. It is my hope that none of my Bitcoin miners start giving dividends anytime in the next 3 years anyway, because they cannot afford it. They just simply can't afford it. They are much, much better off taking that money and either continuing to increase their exahash, right? Stop dilution. I certainly wouldn't want them doing dilution and then giving a dividend. So if they can afford to stop dilution, okay. I'd rather have that money spent that way. They got to pay for their operations, and then if they can pay for growth, and then if they can do all that and then hold on to some Bitcoin, you know, I support that as well. The last thing I want to see, this is too early stages for, in my opinion, we're way too early for these companies to start giving out dividends. I would be mad at the companies I hold stocks in if they, in the next 2 years, said, hey, we're going to start giving out a dividend, because there's an exahash war that is, you know, never ending. And we're early stages of this. We're starting to get, if you watched my video yesterday, we're starting to get a little clarity on the top 10. On the top 10, on the top 3 in particular, but things are starting to line up month after month and be a little bit more consistent. So maybe we'll look at a couple of those things. But, you know, you gotta stay in that game. So in other words, let's say, for instance, Riot. If Riot were to announce a dividend, right now, Riot's got plans to get to 12.5 exahash. CleanSpark has plans to get to 15.9, and they've stated that they're going to get to 16. So I hold both of them, but the Riot shareholder in me says, I don't want you letting other companies pass you by while you're giving your money back to the shareholders. It's not that time yet. Provide value to your shareholders through doing a good job with your operations and increasing the value of your stock. So Sour Melon Gaming wants... okay. Sour Melon Gaming said, I honestly don't want dividends. Leave it all in the share price. So yeah, I mean, we're on the same page, Sour Melon Gaming. I think that would be way... someday, but not right now. And Methodic is asking, stock buybacks? I feel the same way. Take your money and buy machines and buy infrastructure. So for me personally, that's what I would be doing if I was these companies for the next, until probably at least until, you know, 1 year after this halving, and get to a place where we're going to know a lot more what this industry looks like a year from now and 2 years from now. We know a lot more today than we did a year ago. I can almost guarantee you the top 10 list that I just put out based on production, if everybody was to have guessed 1 year ago, I don't know that there would be one person, even out of luck, I don't know if there would have been one person that would have guessed the top 10 in the right order just 1 year later. That's how much change occurred in this industry over the last year. And we'll see what happens the next year, right? Who knows what change is yet to come, but we do know this. If Bitcoin stays healthy, you're going to have to compete. You've got a list of people you're competing with now. James Ross said, hang in there, George. Companies that are able to grow in hard times are going to explode when the market levels out. I mean,
I don't know if you guys know, but I called for a third of the companies to go out of business in the next 2 years that are trading in the stock market.
Across the entire market,
Yes.
you're calling for that.
That's a crazy one, isn't it? It's not necessarily they're going out of business. They might be consolidated too.
Well, and I count that going away.
Going away, yep.
Right. So whether it's that they get purchased because they're vulnerable or they literally have to file Chapter 11. I mean, I think there's a lot more to come. There's tough times ahead. There's volatility ahead. But there's opportunity ahead also for sure. And I really think, you know, yesterday, if we talk about Gary Gensler, and I want to read one of the quotes that he said because it's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard a human being say. So I want to read the quote exactly. But one of my takeaways from yesterday's meeting is there's becoming more and more stark of a contrast between Bitcoin and altcoins, which includes Ethereum. All the other coins have more FUD around them and less clarity around them and more of Operation Choke Point 2.0. Bitcoin, I feel like, you know, the what do they say? The horses, where'd the horses go? They went somewhere. They've left the barn. The horses have left the barn. The genie's out of the bottle. It's too late. Bitcoin, everyone acknowledges, even Gary Gensler, that is a commodity. That conversation is settled, but it is not settled for anything else. And he just put more FUD out there yesterday than, like, that was like legendary amounts of double talk and confusing talk. And it was about every single cryptocurrency except for Bitcoin. So I'm not saying I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, but I mean, we have to admit that's why there's Bitcoin and altcoins. And even the great Ethereum, which is clearly the second largest by a mile, is still an altcoin. And George and I talked about this at the time. I think they made a monster error moving to proof of stake. I know there'll be a lot of people that totally disagree with me on that, but that opens them up to this whole argument that the SEC has. Had they stayed proof of work, I feel like the SEC would have fallen in line on Ethereum and they would have been out of the conversation. But now, you know, not only did they move to proof of stake, but they have several more big changes coming. So you can more and more make the argument that they're acting like security and not a commodity, right? Commodities don't have fundamental changes to their programming coming.
I agree with everything Tom said, but there's only one thing. I think that people have picked ETH. I think ETH is going to do fine for a long time, by the way.
Yeah, George was telling me off stream that he's coming around for that reason, not because he necessarily believes in it, but he feels like
I don't believe in it. No,
clearer and clearer that that's the chosen, you know, next token out of all of them.
I heard a statement, even though I'll tell you the statement I heard. I'm not telling you what I learned, what I feel about XRP, but I also heard, listen to this one. This one's going to be crazy, that XRP is going to outperform in the next bull run Bitcoin.
Okay, so that was my XRP news. I saw what potentially, allegedly, may have been a drunk BitBoy declare that XRP will outperform all the top 200 cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, in this upcoming bull run.
But if you think about it, it's because of the price point of it.
He's also on a cruise, enjoying himself, so, you know.
He didn't tell me he was going on a cruise. Did you talk to him?
I watched his
went on the
video.
cruise.
He did a short. So that's how BitBoy gets me. I appreciate when he does either a short or a 10-minute video. I cannot watch, unfortunately, because I'm doing this, so I can do one or the other. But when he does some of those shorter things, I try to tune in and see, you know, where he's at, because an awful lot of people listen to him.
Well, and you know why I listen to him? There is a reason why I listen to him. And it isn't because I think he has good content. It's because I think he has good insider information.
Yeah, you want to talk about an insider? He is an insider, and he really also provoked the heck out of Gary Gensler. He just straight out challenged him and said, "Go ahead, come after me. You're garbage." So you can watch if you feel like it somewhere yesterday in one of BitBoy's shorter videos. He just totally went after Gensler. So let me read a couple of these, and then I want to read that sentence. So Martin is saying, Tom, what if Bitcoin goes to 100,000? Dividends still don't make sense? I'm going to say they still don't make sense, Martin, and that might seem unreasonable, but the thing is, we just had a painful crypto winter lesson. So I honestly will tell you, I thought when Bitcoin was in the 50s and 60,000s, I thought, yes, we will have a bear market. Everything has its bear markets, but this crypto winter stuff is behind us. But it was not behind us. We had a full-blown crypto winter. So I would encourage those companies at Bitcoin 100,000 to use that money as wisely as possible, strengthen their balance sheet, strengthen their operations, and be ready for the next downturn. That's my thoughts on this. Now, maybe I'm getting fooled again. But I don't think we're going to have a crypto winter next time around. I still feel like at some point this is going to be a mature enough asset, and it's still super young. At some point it will be mature enough where we have bear markets. Everything has a bear market. But these crypto winters are something different entirely. So there's a poll. What do we think? Are there more crypto winters ahead, or was that the last one?
I think there's a crypto winter. I think there's a pullback. That's it.
And I'm going to define it as the overall crypto market down by more than 65%. We're going to call a crypto winter. So that's even being generous. So was that the last crypto winter down more than 65%?
I don't think so, Tom. I think that's what it does. I think that's what crypto does. I think there's going to be one or two more, honestly.
That has been what it does, and I was already wrong once about this. I really, really did not think that Bitcoin was going to have the full beating of a crypto winter.
Well, and here's the reason why is because people get scared.
Well, it feeds on itself, and it has been a cycle. So, history tends to whatever.
Repeat itself. You can say it.
Repeat itself, rhyme, however you want to say it. And then there's the other thing. Previous performance is no indicator of yada, yada, yada. Andy said, ETH is definitely a security now after their switch to proof of stake. However, before you get mad at me for saying that, it's not a bad thing if only the SEC would provide a pathway to registration. Well, that's the other thing that I will agree with, Andy. Whether it's a commodity or security, they got to put out some, what are the rules? How do we get in compliance? If they say you're a security and here's how you get in compliance, then they can go do that. But right now, they're just suing everybody under the sun and, creating as much FUD as humanly possible. It feels like a very intentional campaign to create FUD around cryptocurrency. Crypto Golfer said he called, I think he may be talking about BitBoy. He called for 300K Bitcoin in September of 2021 because he had, quote, inside information. So I guess that's what you can do with BitBoy's inside information. But he has a huge following, and there's no doubt he's a voice. I mean, whether you like his voice or not, he's got a very big following, and there's...
no one's ever going to be 100% right on this game.
Martin was
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That's if they were, they wouldn't tell anybody else about it.
Right.
So,
well, they're going to tell you the opposite.
Right. And we don't do that here. We're certainly not 100% right by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I want to do a couple of videos on what my worst picks were for the year 2022, because 2022 was a train wreck, as all of you know. So I had some bad picks. I just did. And I'm not even talking about Bitcoin miners, because if I still believe that company is going to 10x or 50x in the long term and it dipped down, I'm not even counting that as a bad pick. I had some straight up bad picks, and I'll tell you one of them. There's a company called Romeo, or there used to be, and they are gone. That's a bad pick, right? And I did, to mitigate, I did put out a video 6 months before they eventually went away that said, I've changed my mind. I don't like what I see here at all. It's going in the wrong direction.
Changed your mind, huh?
Well, you have to. This is how you have to do it. One video can't stand for all time. You've got to, as circumstances change on the ground, you've got to be paying attention and update your investment thesis. So, you know, there was some obvious significant changes to me that, you know, but I still call it a bad call, because really the thing that I was worried about, and I said so in my very first video ever, was I had no confidence in management, and you have no business investing in a company. I liked their business model. It looked like they had a path to success, but management drove me crazy. And that was reason enough that I should have just stayed away. So that was a bad decision. And I lost money on it. Cosmic Contrarian said, invest in the company, no dividends, way too early for that type of discussion. So I'm on the same page as that. Stephen English, so Bitcoin peaks at 200K. How far will it pull back the next time? So 200K, what would that be? Like, you know, you're talking about a potential 200K down to, you know, $40,000 if it does a full-blown crypto winter type of a thing. And that may very well happen. Right, it may very well happen, because 40,000 is still a lot of money. But after the halving, that's going to be, once again, and that's what a crypto winter is. It's brutal. It weeds out the weak hands in both the people that hold cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency, as well as the mining companies that did not properly prepare for it. You can't get from one side to the other side of a crypto winter. And as we saw, I'll just read down the list. Wolf, I like Wolf, but they had to restructure all their debt. Now, they got it done. Argo Blockchain had to sell most of their assets. Stronghold had to give back most of their equipment. Iris Energy had to walk away from half of their machines or more. Mawson, did I say Stronghold? Yeah. So, you know, and of course, Core Scientific filed Chapter 11. So that's what a crypto winter looks like. You know, that's half the Bitcoin miners that got seriously damaged. A couple of those are going to make it, even after all of that. Like Wolf, for instance, and Wolf and Iris Energy made some monumental changes that I think made them change their business fundamentally from one that was going to be run over by debt to one that has a path to success. So, but they did have to make some big changes to do so.
All right, Tom, I got to run.
All right, George, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
You good for lunch?
Yep.
Okay, I'll shoot over.
All right, see you in a minute, or a few. Thank you, George. All right, let me catch up a little bit. Sour Melon Gaming, Bitcoin mining stocks at Bitcoin 100K are going to be wild. So that's right. I mean, this is what we're all waiting for and hoping that, you know, we stick with this long enough for Bitcoin to do what, because if we're convinced that there's going to be a crypto winter, and that vote is a lot closer than I thought, then, the other side of that is the bull market. And those are just as vicious to the upside as the crypto winners are to the downside. So, in theory, there could be big moves up ahead. We'll see. Again, it's hard. Even, there have been so few cycles that trying to extrapolate out is sometimes, there's a lot of other variables when there's only this small of a data sample. So we definitely don't. A lot of things that look like they might be the way this behaves could turn out to not be. And it could change over time as Bitcoin reaches some critical mass, as we get some regulations and some clarity, as a lot more institutional money moves in, as we get an ETF. There's a lot of changes ahead. And that's why I didn't think we were going to have a crypto winter, because I was fooled into believing that a lot of those things would have already long since happened by now. But they have been able to push those things off, particularly the Bitcoin ETF. They have pushed off so much further than I ever thought they would be able to. The XRP lawsuit they have pushed off further than I ever thought they would be able to. So I saw several different people say, again, inside information, that the XRP thing was going to be resolved by the end of last week, and that did not happen. So once again, and I wouldn't bet on it. I never, because you see, inside information is worth that and $5 will get you a cup of coffee, depending on where you're buying it. Ricky is saying people who have been in crypto early are used to these cycles, so it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So that's true. I mean, that it did, despite the fact that I thought it wasn't going to, it did pretty much the same thing that it's always done. And in some ways, honestly, I do think this was a more vicious crypto winter. FE702 is saying poo-poo for BitBoy. I mean, I don't really follow BitBoy. I watched him talk about Gary Gensler for a minute, and then he put out a 58-second short, I think, that said XRP is going to the moon. So I saw him say those two things. But I've seen him flip-flop on XRP a million times as well, so I don't know. Lant is saying, here's why ETH doesn't want to be a security, because the SEC will put a magnifying glass on everything and use anything to say they aren't following regulations. So, yeah, I mean, the SEC is by far the harder body to be regulated by. There's just no question about it. Whether it's Gary Gensler or somebody else, who knows? Because, then there was I saw 1,000 thumbnails. Gary Gensler's going to get fired. He's done. It's over. But I'll believe that when I see it. I don't think that that's what's happening. Mr. J, but you're 100% real. I don't know if he's talking about me or somebody else in the chat, but I try to be. I mean, you guys see, I show you what I do, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not as good, and sometimes it's awful. Sour Melon Gaming, my all-time worst pick was buying SOS in 2021. You are not alone. I did not buy SOS. I could not get comfortable, but that was a lot of people got caught up in that, and that was part of the Bitcoin cryptocurrency world. For those of you who don't know, is that still trading? I mean, that went the wrong way. So Sour Melon Gaming is saying, man, I got screwed on that one. Learned my lesson, though. No more Chinese stocks. The SEC needs to shut these scams down. Right, that was a company where it's another one where I don't think anybody was, at the end of the day, even really sure they were actually even conducting any business. So, and I don't know whether they were or they weren't, but I'm going to look their stock up right now and see if it's still even trading. I haven't even thought about that. That's been gone for so long. Off of my radar anyway. I don't know that it's gone. So this is trading at $4.30. It's a $27 million market cap. But you can see, I mean, this accounts for reverse. They must have done a series of reverse stock splits because I won't even go that far back. They're trading at $4, and after accounting for reverse stock splits, this was $250 stock in 2021. So that's a long way down. So my guess is that they're $27 million. This is certainly nothing I would invest in. Let's see if they even are claiming that they mine Bitcoin anymore. SOS Limited provides data mining and analysis services to corporate and individual members in the People's Republic of China. It provides marketing, data, technology solutions, insurance. Yeah, I don't know what these guys do. So I'm with you, Sour Melon Gaming. I took this off of every watch list that I have, and I haven't even looked at them in over a year. So, and with that, hopefully I will probably never look at them again. Crypto Golfer, ever hear of Nortel? Every time they reverse split in the early 2000s, I thought it was a good buy all the way down to zero. That was from Crypto Golfer. Yeah, and apparently FV702 remembers them. I don't remember them, believe it or not. So, but I know we've all been caught. Listen, if we're all honest, we have a list of trades. For those that have been trading for a long time, you have a list of trades that did not work out. All you can hope for is that your list of trades that did work out is a lot longer and you mitigated the risks on the ones that didn't work out. But that's just how this goes. And it's easy to kick yourself after the fact. You know, like I said, when I look back at my Romeo trade, right from day one, my first video, I said I didn't like management. So, you know, that should have been my own red flag to myself that, well, if you don't like management, why are you buying this stock? But I just thought the company, you know, sometimes things look great on paper, but, you know, they never come to fruition. Alex, hi, Tom. The sudden drop this morning of Bitcoin, I think, was leveraged players getting out. Would not be surprised to see us back at 30,000 tomorrow. So thank you, Alex. That was my goal that I said earlier. It would be, I hope that we can just reclaim 30,000. That would be a win, in my opinion. You know, we're going very sideways since I think these were longs that got liquidated, and we're totally sideways since then. It seems like the Bitcoin miners maybe have bottomed out for the day. They're mostly off of their lows on the day, but still very red. So still a lot of potential buying opportunities if you're looking to buy. Mr. J said, BitBoy is a good hype man. That's for sure. Darren said, Riot. And can you do any better? Which is George. Said, I'm waiting to buy more tomorrow. Team Bitcoin said, I'm buying these dips. Live by the sword or die by the sword. So here's somebody who got the other side of that trade. Love 305 Mia. Romeo Options was my biggest gainer back in 2021. Yeah, because it ran up to the moon. And I did not buy near the top. I bought after it had been knocked down 90-something%. I thought, man, I do think these guys are going to make it. They're being priced to go out of business. And that's when I started coming in. But there are a lot of people, so congratulations to you. There were a lot of people that made money on a gigantic run up before all that happened. Sandy's Eclipse. Tom, what are your thoughts on the suppliers of ASIC mining machines like Bitmain or eBang? So I'm not as big on the suppliers because I do think, and we can see, just like Bitcoin had a crypto winter, the price on these machines has come down drastically. So a lot of, that's the picks and shovel play, which is usually a winner. And those may be a winner, but I'm not in any of those. I'd rather be in the right Bitcoin miners. And a lot of Bitcoin, you know, CleanSpark has made deal after deal after deal on these miners, buying them for, you know, 15 cents on the dollar or 20 cents on the dollar. So, and they're not the only ones. So, you know, that part of the cycle was not over yet, it would seem. Nerd Minion said worst trade was swapping Bitcoin for XRP in 2018. Oh, yep. See? But who knew? Right? It's easy to look back at that now and go, yep, nope, that was no good. But at the time, who knew what years of FUD was on the horizon for XRP? Edwin saying never touch stocks under $5. So, yeah, you got to understand under $5, the risk goes up dramatically. And you've got to look at the market cap as well, because a lot, you know, if it's under $5 and it's a micro cap stock, you're probably looking at a high risk investment. So if you want to put some portion of your portfolio, some people may say, listen, I'm 26 years old. I don't mind putting 30% of my portfolio in ultra high risk stuff, or I'm in my mid 50s. I'm only going to put 10% of my portfolio in that, or you know what? I don't like those at all and I'm just steering clear of them. So that is specific to people's risk tolerance, but it's a fair point. Both the $5 and really the micro cap market cap thing, those two in combination can cause crazy volatility. Raven said, I killed it with Meta, bought at 90 and sold at 200. I feel like that stock will go to 1,000 one day. Well, they've had a nice turnaround. In my opinion, they were making some bad decisions at the top end of management, but I think they got their head on straight now. So, yeah, I could see that continue to go up. Mocha buying the dips. Raymond's asking, what miners have the lowest price on a mined Bitcoin? So the ones that are representing, and I would like to see the next quarter of financial statements, because the two newest companies, Cypher and TeraWolf, are both representing that they have very low cost per coin. So I'd like to see their first quarter financial statements and be able to confirm that in the financial statements themselves versus them telling us what their cost per coin is. But, you know, if they're anywhere in the ballpark of what they're talking about, they have very low cost per coin. And there's a bunch others. So I'm in the middle of updating that list based on the quarter ended December 31st, 2022. So I'll put everybody's cost per coin out. And when I do that, it's just per their income statement. So that's not my estimation of plus this, minus that, this, that. It's just straight up, I take their direct costs, not including depreciation and amortization, and I divide it by the number of Bitcoin they mine. So they can say their cost is whatever they want, but when they put it in their financial statements and sign off on it, and the auditors sign off on it, that is their cost. So that's what I track. And oftentimes it does not resemble what they say in their investor decks or marketing literature and all that kind of stuff. So FV702 saying at Raven, I guess they made a movie about this Silk Road. I have not seen that, so you can check that out. Lamp said, I bought Doge at 5 cents and sold at 60. Yeah, I mean, that's gold. And to me, something like Doge, that better be your only intention, is to have an exit strategy, because I don't, you know, those are things like that to me have no actual value. But there's sometimes excellent swing trades, and there's money to be made if you get it right. James Ross said, Edward, the large salaries can be an issue, but if you see progress in the company like CleanSpark, that can not be discounted. So that's my argument. I think CleanSpark's management's compensation, it's it's almost all stock, and I think that aligns their interests with our interests as shareholders. And I know some people think it's too much money, but I will tell you, if you look around, like, management compensation varies. I've seen management of smaller companies that make 10 times the money. So it's hard to put that in perspective with these publicly traded companies. It depends on so many variables, especially in the early stages. But I prefer stock compensation vastly to, I'd rather than everybody having a $5 million salary, because that money's not coming back, whether they succeed or fail or whatever the case may be. So I know everybody has a different opinion, and that is a very hot button topic. But for me personally, I'm totally fine with CleanSpark management's salaries and bonuses. Oh, let me look at the poll results, and then I got to wrap it up. I'm going to meet George for lunch. Wow. Was that the last crypto winner? Yes, 49%. No, 51%. I'll leave it open for 30 more seconds. Has anybody not voted? So, man, I'm calling that a tie. That is within the margin of error. So, and we're a group of mostly Bitcoin/crypto people. So, even in this subset of people, it looks like we're about 50-50 on whether or not there's going to be another crypto winner. So that's an absolute toss-up. All right, I'm calling that poll. So that ended at 51-49. Unbelievably close. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in this middle of the day live stream. I still didn't get to some of the stuff. I got to do it. I got to read the one sentence at least from Gary Gensler, because I can't. Okay, so he said, actually, all securities are commodities under the Commodities Exchange Act. It's that we are excluded commodities. But I would agree that a security cannot be also an excluded commodity and an included commodity. That is the least answer I've ever seen in my entire life. So they tried to nail him down. Listen, a simple question. Is Ethereum a security? And he would not answer it. He said things like this. So this sentence is just actually, it's meant to infuriate the person that asked the question. This is a ridiculous answer, and there were others like that. I just wanted to, before I jump out, I wanted to share that one because I didn't want to let that one pass. This is the kind of talk that was going on in yesterday's hearing or meeting or whatever you want to call it. So that's Gary Gensler for you. Gave us no clarity whatsoever. So thank you again. Thanks to all the members for being members and supporting the channel. Thanks again to the super chats. That's a huge, huge help. And thank you for everybody that tuned in and participated in the polls and whatnot. So hopefully let's just exit out on where's Bitcoin. So still very sideways. Everything's off of, the Bitcoin miners are off their lows, but they don't seem to be racing towards green. So we'll see what happens. Hoping to reclaim 30,000. That's my goal. By the next time we talk, hopefully we're back above Bitcoin 30,000. So thanks again for watching, and thanks for all your support. Have a great day, everybody.